You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the May 24th, 2023 special meeting of the Michigan City Common Council. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening. I would like to call this meeting of the special meeting of the Michigan City Common Council to order. Today is May 24th, 2023, and we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a silent prayer. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic that stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Nyla, on the roll call, please.
Mr. Dabney.
Present.
Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Present.
Mr. Mack. Ms. Deitch.
Present.
Mr. Don Przybylski.
Present.
Mr. Paul Przybylski.
Present.
Mr. Simmons.
Present.
Ms. Jagus. Present. And Ms. Tillman. We have 7 present and no one absent. 2 absent.
I did speak with Councilwoman Tillman in regards to her not being present. I have not spoken with Councilman Mack. Ms. Nyla, first resolution.
A resolution by title only supporting the funding for the emergency purchase of Pierce Enforcer 100-foot rear mount platform aerial fire truck for the Michigan City Fire Department. And this is introduced by Ms. Deitch and Mr. Paul Przybylski.
Are there any comments from the sponsors? Councilman Przybylski.
Yes, we're at a juncture in time where we need to make a decision. And I think that we have made the decision to get a reliable piece of equipment in-house. And I guess I believe that the fire department can look at making a repair or a decision on where they're going to go with the T-Rex. But this opportunity exists and we need to move on it. And a lot of people have been following this for a couple years now. And I think that we've come to the consensus, or I know a lot of people have come to the consensus that the opportunity arose and we needed to move on it about having this aerial in production and being able to get it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
And the resolution was just to make sure that we had support from the council. I know there's an ordinance on here. And what happened is that there's a truck that is available, but if we don't act on it this week, we won't be able to make any changes to it. So that was the reason for the special meeting, is that it's already in production. And we wanted to make sure that he knew that the administration knew they had the support to move forward on getting anything done. Change orders have to be completed this week. And this will allow the chief to move forward in contacting them with their intent to purchase. So that's why we have the resolution there, as well as the ordinance. And when the ordinance comes up on first reading, we'll do the public hearing at our next council meeting, and we will be asking for second and third reading at that council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any other comments from the sponsor? Any comments from the public?
Good evening, Council President, council members, Doug Legault, Michigan City Fire Chief. First of all, I'd like to thank you for coming into this special meeting. It's definitely needed. I agree 100% with Councilman Paul Przybylski and his statement. I'm going to keep it as brief as possible because I know I've been updating you on information all along. So in the past 2 years, the 2015 Rosenbauer T-Rex aerial truck has been in constant need of repair and has been routinely in and out of service. Since approximately mid-December of 2022, the T-Rex has been in service for only approximately 20 days until now. So it's approximately been out of service for 144 days since last year, mid-December. So when the T-Rex is out of service, we have to constantly rely on our 1995 Pierce Aerial for our frontline aerial truck. Because the T-Rex is constantly needing repair and out of service, this unreliability of this vehicle places the health and safety of the citizens of Michigan City at risk. The opportunity exists right now to purchase a demo truck through Pierce. It's a 2023 100-foot aerial platform that will meet our needs and is available late August, early September. If we were to wait and order a truck, the lead time is 36 to 42 months. So we really need to act on this now. It's not a sales pitch, it's just the way it works. They happen to have one coming down the line at the exact time that we have deemed this truck, the T-Rex. It's just, we're tired of dealing with it at the administration level, but more importantly, the firefighters are tired of dealing with it. They need something that they can feel is reliable. I've gotten the feeling from them, they're just, they just don't know. They have to have confidence in their equipment. So we've got to, I strongly recommend that you move on this, and I appreciate you guys coming in and doing this. Any questions, I'll be happy to answer, but.
Any questions, or Chief, Councilman Deb?
Yeah, not a question, but I just wanted to kind of look in the back. They'll give me a head nod. I'm correct. Because I just remember we did something like this before. And this is just for more of my, and I guess the public can hear it as well. This resolution is what would set off to be able to do a purchase order. Am I correct? Because that's what they said they needed to show that they have the funding in order to hold the positioning on that. So I just wanted to make sure I was correct there. And then it's not the having to do the second and third readings and everything like that, but the resolution will give you that PO to be able to hold it. And that's what they were talking about at the last meeting. Made it a big emergency for us to do this.
Exact same scenario as last time.
All right, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public? Comments from the council, or before we do council comments, is there anyone that wanted to be added as a co-sponsor?
Yeah, Mr. President, I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor.
And we have Councilman Prespolinski.
I would also like to be added.
And Councilman Simmons, Councilman Dabney,
I also sent that in today.
Councilwoman Jigas. And I think from the email, Councilwoman Tillman as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, but she's not here, so I'm told her.
Okay. All right, was that Ms. Nyla, was that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Any other comments from the council?
Mr. President, a couple comments, and yeah, I've been following this since the chief was here at the last council meeting. Then Councilman Paul Prespolinski had the workshop that provided a lot of information about not only the T-Rex, but about another aerial that we're going to need coming down the road here. And then also attended the truck committee workshop at the fire department that was put on. So I have a lot of knowledge of what's going on here with these fire trucks. And it's true that the T-Rex, although at the time it sounded like it was a fantastic piece of equipment and it could do a lot of things that the city needed. And we have come to find out that it may still be able to do a lot of things that the city needs. However, it's not reliable. And with the dates of in service and out of service that the chief has provided for us, it doesn't make sense to keep a piece of equipment like that online, and that we purchase a new piece of equipment and hoping to sell the T-Rex, trade it in, and get some money to help offset the cost of the new fire truck. So I stand fully behind this purchase. It's for the public safety, and it's also for our firefighters' safety that they have a reliable piece of equipment to drive down the street to a fire or whatever the emergency call may be. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Deitch.
I move for adoption.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilwoman Deitch and second by Councilman Prespolinski. Ms. Nyla, on the vote, please.
Mr. Paul Prespolinski,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Mr. Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Ms. Deitch,
Aye.
Mr. Don Prespolinski,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
and Ms. Jacobs.
Aye.
We have 7 in favor and no one opposed.
Okay, the resolution passed. Ms. Nyla, could you please read our next resolution by title only?
Resolution by title only, approving a request to connect to Michigan City Sewer Utilities by Eric Perrin and Patricia Perrin of 3642 Birchwood Trail, Michiana Shores. And this is introduced by Ms. Jacobs.
Any comments from the sponsor?
Yes, if you don't mind, since we didn't get a printout of the amendment, I'll just say what the change was. So on the second page where it says pursuant to section 9886 and
Point of
section,
order, Mr. President.
Yeah, it was submitted.
it was, I don't know, it wasn't, everyone got it.
I know, but I have a point of order.
Yes.
Okay.
Councilman Prespolinski.
Yeah, and what my question is here, it was tabled on May 16th for the June 6th meeting. Why is it being brought? And there's been no motion. If this is the June, and correct me if I'm wrong, to our legal counsel, but if it's dated for June the 6th, then it should be June the 6th. If it's for tonight, then doesn't it have to be voted on to bring it off
Yep.
the table?
Right.
Yeah, it just doesn't automatically come off as if we were at the June
Right.
6th council meeting.
Yeah, she has to ask to have it taken off
So
the
she was
table,
reading the resolution, and I was going to call for a motion
to take it off the table.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
you may, Councilwoman, you can proceed with it.
All right, so I guess I would like to ask to take this off the table since there is a time component to this, and I'd like to get this passed. So I'm asking for a suspension of the rules to take it off the table today instead of June, whatever that was
Yeah,
supposed to be.
I second that.
June the 6th.
So a motion to remove this resolution from the table by Councilwoman Peters and seconded by Councilwoman Deitch. Ms. Nyla, on the vote, please.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Mr. Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Ms. Deitch,
Aye.
Mr. Don Prespolinski,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Jacobs,
Aye.
and Mr. Paul Prespolinski.
Nay.
We have 6 in favor and 1 opposed.
Any other comments from the sponsor?
Yes, so what we added is some clarifications that says that in the Michigan City is not bearing any cost for any of the review or inspection for this matter, and the petitioner's reimbursement to the city and Michigan City Sanitary District for any costs incurred in the review and inspection of this matter. So that was added for clarification purposes.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
So is that a point of order? Is that a motion to amend it?
I think that was a sponsor amendment.
Just a sponsor amendment? Okay. All right, just asking. Thank you.
Any comments from the public? Any comments from the council?
Yeah, and
Councilman Prespolinski.
yeah, thank you, Mr. President. And I just wanted to, and the reason I wanted clarification on us going forward with these kind of resolutions is so that it's clear cut that when the residents get involved with the city, want to hook into the city sanitary district, that it's spelled out in black and white exactly what they have to pay for, because they may be able to come back and say, well, the sanitary district wants money for this or they want money for that. They can come back and say, well, I'm not paying that. It wasn't stated in the contract. That was the whole purpose of me asking for this to be tabled and the amendment added to it. It's always good to have clarification and get it done with.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Any other comments from the council?
Move for adoption.
Support. Have a motion to approve by Councilwoman Deitch and second by Councilman Simmons. Ms. Nyla, vote please.
Mr. Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Ms. Deitch,
Aye.
Mr. Don Prespolinski,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Jacobs,
Aye.
Mr. Paul Prespolinski,
Nay.
and Mr. Dabney.
Aye.
We have 7 in favor and 1 opposed. We have 6 in favor and 2 opposed.
One opposed.
1 opposed. Paul.
Thank you, Ms. Nyla.
Okay,
Could you please read our ordinance on first reading?
an ordinance on first reading by title only, approving additional appropriation in the budget of the rainy day fund for an emergency purchase of a Pierce Enforcer 100-foot rear mount platform aerial fire truck. And this is introduced by Ms. Deitch and Mr. Paul Prespolinski.
Thank you, Ms. Nyla. Any comments from Ms. Wells?
Yes, Councilman.
Councilwoman Deitch.
So the $2 million is from the rainy day fund. We reviewed, the different buckets. We could have kind of piecemealed this together, but a meeting with Controller Hoffmaster and the chief and the mayor, this was the easiest and best way to get it done sooner without having to go through ARPA and some other different mechanisms to piece it together. But we had a little over $2 million in the rainy day fund. So that's why we chose the rainy day fund.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any other comments from the sponsor? Any comments from the public?
I would,
Go. Councilman Prespolinski.
I would like to thank Angie, Councilwoman Angie Deitch, ING Nelson Deitch on getting this together and meeting with the controller and the chief and the mayor about getting this done, because I know that I had a meeting last week with the mayor and he is very adamant about not doing anything and fixing the T-Rex. So I'm glad to see that this came about, because I too am concerned about public safety. And I think that with the issue in hand, it's also about public safety, completing your mission, and protecting the firefighters. You can put it that any way you want to in order, but those are very important. And I don't think people realize that a ladder truck is definitely needed for rescue in a lot of these different structures we have in town. But I will say that the reason we initially got the 1995 ladder truck was because of Blue Chip, and we probably should have had it before that. But I think that to come to the point where we're at right now, it was a perfect storm, because the truck was available, we had money, and we recognized the need for public safety. So, Chief, we've went back and forth about a lot of issues, but I am, I think that you showed some leadership in saying enough's enough, and I really appreciate that. And I was looking at it last year, thinking we need to do something. And it was a perfect storm. That truck was available. And I don't think the chief explained it that far in depth, but they don't necessarily put a ladder truck in line to be made in the stock. It's not, we need to clarify it. It's not going anywhere. Once it's done, they're calling it a demo. It's coming here. It's not going around all around the country. So anyway, Chief, I want to thank you and the truck committee and all the firefighters. I thought that program that we watched was really, really educational about the equipment that they make now. I mean, all the council members need to see that one video. So anyway, I'm looking forward to getting that truck here. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Any comments from the public? Any online? Any comments from the council? Councilman President.
Yeah, Mr. President, couple comments to the chief and to the truck committee. Because we finally got that truck committee put together, as you and I talked about it, and you got it put together within that time frame. I think that was very maybe instrumental in bringing all this information forward and letting that group do their work and come up with the information. So I applaud you and I applaud the truck committee. Is it Captain Joe?
Sir?
Yeah. Did a great job. So I appreciate that. Yeah, and the T-Rex is to me, it's probably the most unreliable fire truck that we have. It needs to go. We need to get our money used trade-in value for that truck and stop pouring money into something that's just bleeding. Whenever I go down, I always heard about the T-Rex from different people. T-Rex is down again. T-Rex is down again. The rear tires don't steer. Springs are getting busted, blah, blah, blah. So I'm glad we made that move. And I'm glad that we're not going to pour any more money or don't plan on keeping it and getting rid of that vehicle and get a reliable aerial. Because as the town grows, as the downtown area is growing now, we're going to have the train station block. We're going to have a brand new 10-story hotel right next door here. And who knows what other structures will be coming in to play in the development of our town. When we need fire equipment that is set up a 100-foot ladder. And as far as I know, what I learned through all this, a 100-foot ladder is, or in 115 feet is the longest ladder truck that they'll make. But 100 feet is standard for what all other cities, other municipalities use. So we'll be getting the state-of-the-art truck with the most updated OSHA, right? And Federal Fire Association requirements. And I do remember that the fire truck committee and the chief, you were saying that trucks shouldn't be around for any more than 15 and 20 years, right? By NFPA standards. Well, this 1999 truck we have is 25 years old. So that's outdated already. So yeah, we need to get that out of the picture sometime shortly. So, but anyway, yeah, I fully support this and that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other comments from the council? All right, this will be held off for second reading.
Motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Have a good night.